and welcome to Hero Power. I'm your host, Avanties, and as always, I'm joined by my co host, Zerotio.
What is up, gang? Man, we are, and I've said it before, on the precipice of the new set coming out.
That word.
And
You
I know
need a
you
new
love it when I
word.
say that. So, if I got a new word, that I wouldn't be me. And we have a lot of news to talk about. We have a lot of cards to talk about. So no play portion this week.
That's right.
We're doing the last dump of cards, and then we will go back into our play portion next week. And next week's going to be fun. And I'll just get into my week. I went ahead and opened my packs.
Okay.
And I got a Mordrish and a Varden.
Nice.
And all the Hero Power synergy cards. So I just need to open up packs with gold and do some crafting. And we should be playing Hero Power Mage.
Next
some
week?
variation of it next week.
Would we be the Hero Power podcast if we weren't playing Hero Power Mage first?
Exactly. So I know we always try to find out what the best deck is or what everybody's playing, but no, this time we're just playing Hero Power Mage. And then the second deck, the second weekend, will be probably something pulled from the community or something we've been playing a lot of. Mm-hmm. Again, if you want to chime in on what we play, feel free to tweet us at HeroPower_cast, or if you're part of our Patreon Discord that you can be part of over at patreon.com/HeroPower for as little as $1 a month. Just put it in our deck list channel and tag us on it and let us know that it's one you want us to consider. Howard the Dave does all the time. So does Matt at Arms. I know BlackRot's always putting in wild decks for us to look at. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited for this set.
Oh, yeah.
Because I normally don't like 4-set metas, but this set, just something about it makes me think like Witchwood level of power and fun. But other than that, I have jumped on Classic.
Okay.
And I pretty much sleeved up Combo Druid like I did back in 2014. And I'm sitting at a 78% win rate.
Nice.
And I'm at like Silver 9. Now, that doesn't seem very high, but I'm seeing a lot of my friends that are still at like Bronze something because they gave everybody a 2x multiplier. And once you hit Bronze 5, you're at a 1-star win.
Yeah.
So you get 1 star for wins, 2 stars for win streaks. It is a grind. So I'm probably going to try to do that a little bit today and tomorrow. I already played some today. And then tomorrow to get ready for, the multiplier reset on the 1st. But obviously on the 30th, when the new set comes out, I'm just going to jam the new cards. I'm really excited. How was your week?
My week was great. I played quite a bit of Battlegrounds early in the week. But just because I'm really, I've always loved Battlegrounds. But when Classic dropped, I too sleeved up my favorite, which was Classic Handlock. I've played about 4 games in Classic so far. I'm 3-1 with Handlock. I'm only Bronze 9. I did lose a game to Combo Druid, as would be expected. They got the nuts, and I didn't have anything I could use to counter it. So, but that's all right. I'm having a blast with it. One of the things we talked about at the beginning of this expansion cycle was we were going to keep track of ourselves on the rewards track and see how we progressed through the rewards track. You as a more frequent player, me as a casual player. Well, this is it. This is the last episode we're going to do before the end of this rewards track for this current expansion cycle. And,
yeah, it is.
And I can say I'm done. I cleared all of my quests last night so that I can earn a quest today, a quest tomorrow, and a 3rd daily quest on Tuesday when the new rewards track launches. So I'll have 3 quests to start the new rewards track. And I finished.
And your weeklies.
Yeah, and I'll have my 3
Yeah.
weeklies.
Don't forget your
So
weeklies.
I wanted to make sure I had a full quest log on Tuesday when the new rewards track drops. And so I'm going to have finished this rewards track cycle at 165 as a casual player. I'm really excited about it. I spent a little gold doing a duel, so I'm at 9650 gold.
Okay.
Just under 10, just under the 10,000 level where I thought I might get to, but I'm ecstatic with it. I'm really happy with Hearthstone right now. I'm having an absolute blast with it. I bought both bundles, so I have 140 packs still to open.
Nice.
I am, however, going to open all 5 of my golden packs on this show tonight after we finish our review.
Cool. I am at 232 on the rewards track.
Nice.
And I got the mega bundle, just the mega bundle, because I'm at 9,570 gold, and I have quite a bit of dust. So I plan to buy a lot of packs with gold, probably 90 packs, depending what I get. I got 5 legendaries, including one of them being golden, out of my 80 packs, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
And then out of my golden pack, I got 1 legendary. So I got a total of 6 legendaries. So
awesome.
So I'm ready for the next set. I'm probably going to try not to do my quests too much over the next couple days to save them until Tuesday when the set drops. But let's get into the news.
Yeah, let's jump right into it. So let's talk about this Wailing Caverns mini set.
Well, it's a leak, but yes.
Yeah, so tell us what you've heard.
So Hearthpwn, and we have the link in our show notes. Hearthpwn found some data mined information referring to a card set called Wailing Caverns, and it actually shows the image on the Hearthpwn link, and it shows tag card set, Dark Moon Fair, then Barrens, then Wailing Caverns, then Legacy, Core, and Vanilla. And usually that tag card set is referring to the art that's the watermark that's on the card.
Mm-hmm.
So that means and we do know with the mini set for Dark Moon Fair, Dark Moon Races, it had a slightly different watermark and things like that. So it looks like Wailing Caverns is going to be the mini set. We don't know yet. And again, data mined information is subject to change. It could be referring to something totally different.
Yeah.
So we don't know exactly what that connotation is for the data mining. Some people thought it might be the second set of the year instead of the mini set, since a lot of times those mini set cards come out of the same packs. But usually data mines aren't in that far in advance.
Right.
And the mini set should be here within the next month and a half to 2 months, where we're not going to see the next full set for 4 months. 4 months.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited about this. I can't tell you the number of times I have run the Wailing Caverns dungeon in game. Back when I was a young orc, I used to farm Wailing Caverns for gear. This was back before you could earn experience points for PvP. And that Wailing Caverns was one of the places to farm gear for twink characters to take into PvP and go in with the best gear you could at level 19 and just dominate.
Just stay at 19.
Yeah, and just stay at 19 and just dominate PvP. So I mean, I've spent many hours in Wailing Caverns, and it excites me that this could be the mini set.
Because you didn't want to take your twink character there because you didn't want them gaining XP.
Right.
So it was of course, they made a lot of changes to WoW since then. Yeah, Wailing Caverns, that kind of hits the theme of the Barrens. So I'm excited if this is accurate, because there's a lot of really cool kind of characters and creatures down in Wailing Caverns that are going to be a lot of fun. So
Yeah.
hopefully that is accurate, and we will just have to see. But about real stuff that came out this past Thursday, the 25th. I think I said the 23rd last week because I didn't have the correct information. So apologize about that. But on the 25th, we got patch 20.0.
Yep.
This is by far the largest patch Team 5 has ever done.
Yeah,
And
there was a lot of information to sift through.
There has been a couple small little, I don't want to call them bugs because they're more UI based. Like if you got legend, it won't show your legend rank on your friends list.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at legend, it's got empty stars above it, and those shouldn't be there. So if you are legend, it's going to show your friends your highest rank that's not legend. So if you're diamond, it'll show your diamond rank. But all my legend friends, it showed their classic rank because they were working on classic.
Gotcha.
So hopefully that's something they can easily patch and fix.
Yeah, the UI bug that's bothering me the most is the dust icon being lit up and shaking like you have cards to disenchant when you don't.
So I don't know how much of that is a bug, because that seems to do that every set whenever they do the pre-patch before the new set comes out.
Okay.
And for me, it could be registering the multiple cards that I have that can be dusted from the new set that I can't dust because you can't dust cards.
Right.
But it seems to be doing it with everybody. So it may just be once the set comes out, then that'll go away. So hopefully, I've noticed that happens almost every time there's a pre-patch before a set comes out. So, yeah. But other than that, we got a lot of stuff in this. First off is we got a balance update for Nitro Boost Poison. We kind of alluded to this before because we saw a recipe deck list go out that had Nitro Boost Poison at 2 mana, and sure enough, that is the balance change. It went from 1 mana to 2 mana.
Yeah.
Do you think this is going to? Do you think Nitro Boost Poison will still be played?
I do, mainly because it's a poison, and some of the new cards in the new set really ramp up the use of poison cards in Rogue. So I don't think this is going to really affect this card. In fact, this is probably one of the reasons this change was made.
I would have to agree with you. I think that the poison rogue we haven't revealed all the cards yet. We'll be talking about that in the second half of the show. The poison rogue will definitely want to have Nitro Boost Poison in it, and there are some piratey synergies or some weapon-based synergy warriors that might still want Nitro Boost Poison as well. It's a little harder to corrupt in warrior, but in rogue it'll be able to be corrupt fairly easily. Yeah. There's ways to reduce the cost of cards enough to do that. So other than that, we have a Battlegrounds update. There's a new hero, Overlord Sourfang, with the 1 gold hero power. Give +1 attack to the next minion you buy this turn. Upgrades each turn.
Right. So
have you had a chance to play with him yet?
I have not, but I'm excited to give him a shot. So
I like that it upgrades each turn and not every time you use it. So if you have a turn where it's not optimal to use it, it's still going to upgrade.
Still going to upgrade. So yeah, like let's say turn 1, you're going to buy a minion, play a minion. That's your turn. Turn 2, if you're staying at Tavern Tier 1, you can buy a minion and then use this, or you can use this hero power and then buy a minion.
Yeah.
And it'll give it +2 attack. That's awesome.
Yeah, and it works well with cleave minions.
Yes.
It works well with the wildfire elementals. Where that extra attack's really going to matter. So And then the only other change for Battlegrounds is they added a new minion, the Barrens Blacksmith. It's tier 3, 3/5, Frenzy. Give your other minions +2/+2.
Right.
So we put Frenzy in Battlegrounds.
Yeah, so for those of you who may not remember, Frenzy says whenever a minion takes damage and survives, trigger its Frenzy ability. So
And it
this
only
one,
does it once.
yes, it only does it once, but this will give all your other minions +2/+2. Now, my question is that once each combat, each turn, or is it one time period and then you might as well sell the minion?
So I would assume it's once per combat but it will only give the minions +2/+2 during the combat.
Yeah.
Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah. So that
I,
makes this
I
an
don't know. I
okay
haven't played
minion.
with it.
Yeah, that makes this just an okay minion. I don't know. I personally probably wouldn't rank it up there in
Yeah.
tier 3 with something like Deflectobot. You know, where Deflectobot's probably one of the top tier 3 minions in the game.
And there's not a lot of really good ways to buff this up so it can take damage late game.
Right.
So you're probably right. It's probably a really good early game minion. I probably would have liked to see it at tier 2 instead of tier 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I mean, I'm interested in playing it. I just haven't played a lot of Battlegrounds
And
lately.
we could see this eventually get moved to tier 2 just depending on stats and how it's played over the next few weeks.
It could. And then the next thing is the classic format or set rotation and core sets all been implemented into the client. Now, a lot of that isn't necessarily playable right now, but you can play the classic format. The set rotation is set to go live on the 30th, and then the core set is set to go live, obviously, on the 30th when the set rotation happens.
Yeah.
They are giving everybody a golden classic pack for logging in during the patch 20.0. So as long as it's 20.0 and it hasn't come out with the next patch, which I think is major patch would be 20.2, you get a golden classic pack.
Yeah, I actually missed that when I looked over this the first time.
Oh, did you?
And while my son and I were out a little while ago getting groceries, he opened up Hearthstone and he was like, "Oh, I have a classic golden pack," and I was like, "What?" And so yeah, so he opened his, nothing remarkable, a couple of the new cards, but I've got mine. I may open it after I open my 5 golden Forged in the Barrens packs tonight. So,
and then they've done the balance change reversions, so you can. Standard is really nutty right now. I played a couple games, and I got a 3-mana Edwind again. No big deal. And then the Shaman hero power has changed, so now we have the totem of strength, the strength totem.
Yeah, no more
and no Wrath
of Air totem. Yeah,
and then spell schools have been added to existing spells. This isn't a big deal.
It was for me.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, because I logged in last night to knock out my quests so I could build up my 3. And one was play 10 nature spells, the other was play 10 shadow spells. So
oh, really?
I actually had to build decks specifically just to complete these quests. And yeah, so those.
So I guess it's another thing that's in the client for 20.0 that's not in the show notes or in the blog post is they've adjusted some quests.
Yes
for the new set. That's really cool. And then the new rewards tracks implemented, or it's put into the client.
Oh God, I'm so excited for this.
Rewards track changes and diamond cards are going to be available. I made a couple mistakes. I actually completed a couple of the quests that give you XP, and I'm not sure how, but I did. And I collected them, and then I realized, oh no! So I have one more that gives me XP, and I'm not collecting it yet.
Okay.
It's for playing warrior cards.
Yeah.
Those come out when the new set comes out, but they're in now, so I want to save them for XP towards the new, the new rewards track.
Yeah.
And then Forged in the Barrens Tavern Pass is going to be start on the 30th, and the new cosmetic coins are being implemented. We talked about all these, I believe, last week.
Mm-hmm. We did.
And then arena rotation starting March 30th, which is when the new set rotation happens, is going to be Core, Forged in the Barrens, Dark Moon Races, Madness and Dark Moon Fair, Skullman's Academy, Ashes of Outland, Rise of Shadows, and Main Streets of Gadget Zan. So this is interesting.
This sounds like fun to me.
I'm not big into arena, and a lot of times the arena rotations don't really appeal to me. But we have some Main Streets of Gadget Zan alongside some of the newer sets, and Main Streets was fun, and you had the tri-class cards,
Yeah,
and the original, so you can run Kazakus next to Kazakus.
Jade Idol.
You know, of course, if you draft them, Jade Idol, Jades.
Yeah.
So I'm really, and I'm curious how the Forged of the Barrens with spell schools and the Mean Streets cards. I'm pretty sure they gave them schools as well. They even went back to Wild.
Yeah.
So whether there any synergies with nature, I don't know what the Jade spells are. If they're nature, I would assume they are. But that's going to be really interesting. Obviously, this is arena, so it depends on your draft.
Yeah.
And then obviously they did some bug fixes and improvements. Lots of bugs fixes, and the big notable things are deck slots have gone from 18 to 27, and deck selection UI changes on the play screen. So also when you choose your mode, you click on the icon for your mode, and it gives you 4 selections of classic, standard, wild, and casual.
Mm-hmm.
So have you seen these UI changes?
I have.
What do you think of them?
I have, yeah, and I like the new play where you click on the icon and it changes. You know, select your mode. I like that a lot, actually.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna go ahead and on behalf of the community be like, so when we get in 36 deck slots, because you know it's coming.
So what I will probably end up doing is before I go to bed Monday night, and or maybe before I go to work Tuesday morning, probably one of those two times.
Delete all your decks.
I'm going to delete all my decks, and then I'm going to go into HS Deck Tracker, highlight every deck, hit the delete button, and then walk away. Because usually, because that's like a full year. I do this every set rotation. It takes like 90 minutes to delete all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I usually do it when I'm going to bed at the night or in the morning, because I want to start up fresh. Now, this is a difference, though. I'm not going to be deleting all my decks because I'm going to save my classic decks.
Oh yeah.
But other than my classic decks, and I like that they've made changes in the past to rearrange your deck, so I can put like all my standard on the first page, and then on the second page maybe my classic decks, and then into wild. And it, of course, if you're a ridiculous hat, your first page is going to be your 9 rogue decks. And then your second page is going to be all your THL testing decks, and then your third page is going to be all the other craziness, and then you're going to complain that you don't have 36 deck slots.
Right. See, I told you, I'm just getting ahead of the curve.
And then finally, they have a bunch, and I mean a bunch, of duels content updates. New spells, new hero powers, or adjustments to hero powers, minions, treasures. We're not going to go into that in detail this episode. If you're interested in that duels information, that duels blog post, the link is going to be in our show notes under the patch 20.0 links. And that is patch 20.0.
Yeah.
It is a lot of information. And I have, first off, before we go to the next big news, is I got to give Team 5 a big round of applause, because this is not only a big patch, but they've been very communicative. Alec Dawson has been all over Twitter. Cora has been tweeting things. A lot of it's more, community-focused stuff, and what she developed. And things like that. And so the fact that they did this big job and still have time to reach out and touch base with the community and answer questions about cards and things like that, big props. I know you're working from home. I know there's been a lot of stigma right now with, layoffs due to the live events closing and things like that. And for you guys to be performing your job at such a high level, despite all that going on, COVID and the biggest amount of work you've had to do in a long time, the fact that it's coming out by the end of March is huge. I really expect this in April because of setbacks. If I think anything, it probably should have came out, was planned to come out the 23rd. So they delayed 1 week. That's it. That's amazing. So big applause to Team 5, and thank you for everything that you do.
Yes. All right.
Now, do you want to go with the next news spot? Because I know you're excited about
this was something I found out about while watching Dexter open his packs this week. So
I knew about this.
Yeah, so Samuro and Mancrick. So since Forged in the Barrens, Rewards Track and Tavern Pass are not going to be immediately available, it will be possible to obtain versions of both of these cards if you open your packs early, since you won't have your duplicate protection in place. So basically, because of this, they are going to make it so that Blademaster Samuro regular and Blademaster Samuro golden and the Mancrick golden cards are all worth full dust value for the first week, because you get those cards for free from the Rewards Track and the Tavern Pass.
Yes. So my normal recommendation is buy the Tavern Pass at any time you want. You can even buy it late, and you'll retroactively get everything you passed in the paid track. However, if you opened Samuro, I would go ahead and buy it early if you plan on buying it anyways.
Yes.
If you're interested in the Golden Samuro, so you can get that extra dust back. Now, if you don't open it and then later you want to do it, now this is only for the first week. So it does reward people that purchase the Battle Pass early. So that's the only kind of negative that I see on it. But they didn't have to do this at all, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, there was another, I think you get a golden, the Shaman Legend. I can't remember the name.
That's Burkhan or something.
Brucon or
Brucon.
Yeah.
Brucon, yeah.
Brucon. So Brucon was also said in Dexter's stream, and that is inaccurate. You do not get full dust for Brucon, because Brucon is the reward for collecting all the legendaries from the set. It's an achievement.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were saying in that chat and on his stream, I think he even mentioned it because somebody said it, that Brucon gets a full dust refund. That is not the case. So it's only both versions of Blademaster Samuro and the golden version of Mancrick.
Yeah. That is correct. So
the last thing before we get into cards is Tavern Brawl was 3 wishes. Zephyrus has blessed you with a random deck and 3 wishes, and no wishing for more wishes. I saved mine until I could get the Year of the Phoenix pack, and I won and done this.
Yeah.
And I really like that we get Year of the Phoenix packs instead of...
I haven't done it yet. I'll probably do it after the show tonight, just to knock it out and get my pack. But no, I haven't done this yet. So
yeah, I've stopped doing them when you got classic packs, because the classic set was rotating and I didn't need anything, only goldens.
Yeah.
So that there was no reason for me to do it at that point. But I like the change to the reward system, and I will go back to doing the Tavern Brawl. So yeah, I'm excited.
One more thing I want to point out is, we were talking about how many packs we have. I bought both bundles, and I have 9,500 gold. What I'm probably going to do is I'm going to probably save all of my dust, and I'm going to try not to craft. Basically what I'm doing is I'm hoping to get the entire set out of the 2 bundles plus my gold packs because I want to use all of my dust to craft the last few remaining Scholomance Academy cards so I can get that kick-ass
Oh,
Bigglesworth coin.
Bigglesworth card pack. I got the Bigglesworth card pack coin.
Yeah, see, I'm
So
missing. I'm
I
still
don't need to
missing
do
cards
that.
from Scholomance. Not
So
many, but I'm missing some.
I started this last set, and I'm probably going to continue it. I will be spending as much gold as I can on packs, and then I will have to cherry pick any missing cards that I know are going to be used. Usually epics and legendaries, because that tends to be the only thing I'm missing at that point.
Yeah.
And I usually only craft the ones that I know I'm going to need for decks and things for the show. And I always try to keep a stockpile of dust just for crafting things for the show if need be.
Mm-hmm.
But if I have a lot of dust, I will usually find a couple legendaries that are standing out. Cariel being one of them, the Paladin legendary, and craft that in golden. I crafted Urel in golden, and I crafted Murgle, McGurgle in golden. So I will probably be crafting some golden legendaries. I did open a Cariel, which really excites me.
Mm-hmm.
So now I just need Cannon Master Smith. And once I get Cannon Master Smith, I'll probably be happy where I'm at. But I got a decent amount of legendaries that I think I should be good.
You know what I just
dust.
noticed?
What's that?
I just noticed a change to the collection. When
What's that?
when you are looking through your collection, hang on.
Huh?
Let me just flip over here and show you guys real quick. Let me hide this PDF. So when you're looking at your collection now,
Okay.
let's jump over here to Mage because I know I have 2 golden Mage cards. I have Raz Frost Whisper and I have Jandis Barov.
Okay. Ooh.
They don't show up on your collection unless
That's in the dust collection.
you click. Well, this is under crafting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because so like they don't show up unless you you come over here and actually click on them.
Check golden.
Yeah.
Yeah. I that's always been that way.
Has it? I've always just thought they would showed up alongside your regular cards.
I noticed that I started saving a lot of my goldens, and I was like, I'm missing this. That can't be right. And I go back in my collection, and I'm like, oh, I have the golden version. It doesn't show up unless you check the select goldens.
Okay, interesting.
I wish there was a way to show goldens alongside the non-goldens.
Yeah.
Because you can only choose show goldens or not. So. But yes, that's always been.
Can
that
also
way.
sort by diamond cards now.
I did know. This is something I just noticed.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're putting the diamond card denoter in there makes. So why would you need that in crafting?
It's a good question.
Because you can't craft them and you can't disenchant them that I know of.
Maybe there are plans for future abilities for diamond cards.
Maybe diamond cards start coming in packs. Theory crafting here.
Yeah.
So that is something interesting because there's really no reason to, and other than if you want to see if you have it in diamond in the crafting page.
Yeah.
There's really no reason to show it because you can't craft them or disenchant them. So interesting.
Right.
Interesting.
All right. Well, that's gonna do it for the news portion. Let's jump into this Forged in the Barrens part 2 of our set review.
And there are a lot of cards here and a lot of good ones, so we're going to be taking our time.
Yeah. So, all right. First up, we start with the Demon Hunter Rare Tusk Piercer. So this is a weapon. It is a 1 mana 1/2 Death Rattle. Draw a Death Rattle minion. So
this is a really good card if Death Rattle Demon Hunter is a thing. And I'm not convinced that it's going to be this set. They did get a lot of Death Rattles, but most of them are just board, like board flooding death rattles where they take death rattles to draw cards or draw death rattles, and then there's other death rattles that puts death rattles from your hand into play on a contingency. So I don't think there's enough board affecting or face pushing death rattles to make Demon Hunter Death Rattle a thing right now. But I think this card's going to shine probably next set, or maybe even the mini set.
Okay. All right. I just want to point out that art-wise, this looks totally impractical as a weapon.
I think they're glaives, because if the one behind it has a handhold, so they're glaives.
Okay, so maybe it's two glaives, not one weapon that you just.
Oh yeah. It's two glaives.
Okay.
It's a Demon Hunter.
Yeah,
Because the one behind you is actually the other is the Tusk Piercer backwards, and you can see where the handhold is.
Okay.
So it's two blades.
That makes more sense.
Or total of 4 blades, technically, made out of bone. It's kind of cool.
All right, next up we have Demon Hunter common cards. We start with the Razor Boar. This is a 2-mana 2/2 beast, Death Rattle. Summon a Death Rattle minion that costs 3 or less from your hand.
Yeah, again, I like this this card. I mean, 2-mana 2/2 that gives you a 3 cost, and all the ones that summon from a Death Rattle summon a mana higher than their current cost. So any 3-mana ones summon a 4 cost. So you're getting increased value. I just don't know if it's anything that Demon Hunter can sustain. I know they have card draw, but I just don't know if they're going to be able to play this gameplay with the limited number of death rattles.
So I want to point out during the live stream, the card reveal live stream, Death Rattle Demon Hunter was one of the decks that was played. Yes. And it did not look like it synergized well. It was very bad. And I honestly don't know that Death Rattle Demon Hunter is going to be viable right out of the gate. Now, maybe after the mini set or the next expansion, if they continue to build on this theme, it could be good. I just don't know that there's enough to support it there right now.
Yeah, and I think what it needs is damage. If some of these death rattles, even if they're death rattle, give your hero attack, that way you could trade the minion in, get the death rattle, and still do extra damage to face. Like it did its attack. Like this would give your hero +2 attack. Maybe all of them need something like that so that Demon Hunter can continue to go face and push the damage. This is kind of pushing towards like a mid-range style of play, and I just don't know if Demon Hunter has the sustain to go mid-range.
Yeah.
Now, they might with other lifesteal cards like the next one we'll talk about.
All right, next up we have a new Demon Hunter spell, Vile Call. Vilecall, Vile Call. 3 mana, summon 2/2 Demon Hunters with lifesteal.
Demons. 2/2 demons.
2/2 demons. Yeah, with lifesteal.
Yeah, they don't have rush, so I don't know how impactful the lifesteal is going to be. But this is the kind of thing that they need more sustain, and hopefully, I don't know if it's playable, but hopefully it is.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. All right, next up, we have a Demon Hunter common fail spell called Fury. It starts at rank 1. It's 1 mana. Give your hero +2 attack this turn. Rank 2 is give your hero +3 attack this turn. And rank 3 is give your hero +4 attack this turn.
Yeah, this is if you get to turn 10, that's a lot of damage.
At turn 10, that's a 1 mana, 4 attack, +4 attack. Yeah.
Now, does that kind of Demon Hunter that wants to use a spell want to get to turn 10? I would say no.
But at turn 5, it's +3 attack for 1 mana.
Yeah, then that's not bad. That's not bad. It doesn't have a twin spell or anything like that, like Twin Blade or what? twin slice. It's not quite a twin slice, but
Yeah.
it's still good.
Yeah.
I don't think it's great. I think if you're playing an old style of Demon Hunter where you want to get the face fast, you're gonna put Fury in the deck. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, moving on. We are at Druid, and we're looking at Epic's Celestial Alignment. So this is an arcane spell, 7 mana, set each player to 0 mana crystals.
Yeah.
Set the cost of cards in all hands and decks to 1.
So right now we have the Hero Power Coin Concede rating sheet that if you want to be part of, either go to at Coin Concede or at Hero Power _cast on Twitter, and we have links to the spreadsheet that you can get on there and get with everybody in the community. There's tons of people in there right now. We've already released it. Rating on this. This has the largest discrepancy between votes. A lot of people are giving this 1 because they think it's trash, because you are giving your opponent the initiative. So on 7 mana, you're doing nothing. So if you're behind on board, you're still behind on board. And your opponent gets to act first with their mana. Now, they'll be at 1 mana and likely can only play one of their cards. Now, if they're playing Cthulhu or Yogg or those style of decks, then yes, this can be a detriment.
Or
but
if
the
they've sat on
meta
the coin the whole game.
Then they'll get 2 cards. Oh no, because the coin will be 1 mana.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Coin will be. The coin's useless at that point.
Yeah, you're right.
Which also makes your ramp like Lightning Bloom very bad, because it's 1 mana for 2 mana crystals and you get overloaded.
Yeah.
And then it makes your Innervate useless.
Yep.
So you have to build a specific deck for this, and you have to be playing against opponents that aren't going to take advantage of this. Now, I rated this card a 6 on our sheet.
Oh, you think it's broken?
We reserve 6s for cards that we believe need a nerf right away. And I don't think this card specifically is going to be nerfed, but something that relates to this card will be nerfed. Either some kind of catalyst or trigger, and it might not even be this set, it might be next set. I haven't identified what could break this, but I know something's going to. The important thing also to note is when you get to your turn, you'll be at 1 mana. And your Nourish can give you 2 filled mana crystals.
Yeah.
So you can play Nourish for 1 mana, then 2 more cards on top of that, and then your opponent goes to 2 mana and you go to 4 mana.
Yep.
So if you build your deck properly, and we've seen a few of the theory crafting streamers do this. Dog was playing Celestial Alignment and really doing well with it. There are some cards that can counter this gameplay, which is good. Specifically, any Watch Post deck, and we'll talk about the Watch Posts later. The 2 mana Watch Post counters Celestial Alignment really, really well. Also to note is any cards generated outside of the deck after Celestial Alignment is played will still be the full mana cost. So if your mages play anything that discover spells, they won't be 1 mana spells. The spell or minion they played to discover it will be, but then whatever they get will be full cost. So I like this. I originally thought you'd only ever put 1 of in this, because why would you want 2? But Dog showed us you put 2 in the deck so that later you reset back down to 1 all over again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just to even, because also what this does is this kills your ranked spells. Because if you were at 5 mana or 10 mana and then Celestial Alignment gets played,
now they're back to rank 1.
They're back to rank 1. And then there's the Primordial Elemental. I think it's the 8 mana elemental. It draws the highest cost spell. Well, it will draw your Celestial Alignment if you haven't played the previous Celestial Alignment. So if you built your deck that way with no other higher cost spells. So in the deck that's built right, and I don't think we'll necessarily see it right away, but I think after 2 or 3 weeks, we're going to see people really break this card, and something will need to be done about it.
Okay. All right. Moving on to Druid Common cards. First up, we have a Beast, 4 mana, 3/5, Thick Hide Kodo. It has Taunt, Death Rattle, gain 5 armor.
This is good. I mean, if you're going to play Taunt Druid, which I think is going to be a thing, this is just good. A big taunt in the way, also with the Plague Maw, I think is what we talked about last week. If this dies while Plague Maw is in play, you will summon another 3/5 with this a copy of this minion without taunt. So that's 5 more armor.
Yep.
So there's a lot of really good synergy with taunts in Druid that I think is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Then we have a new nature spell, 2 mana, Thorn Growth Sentries. Summon 2 1/2 turtles with taunt.
I don't like this card because we already have the 2 mana spell in Druid that summons the 2 1/2s with lifesteal, and I think in a token based strategy they're better than taunt. And on top of that, you don't really want to water down your deck with a taunt Druid deck with this. This would go in a token strategy, and I just don't think it. Maybe after that card rotates out, maybe next year we'll use this, but I just don't think it's that great.
Okay. Then we have a new spell called Pride's Fury. It's 4 mana, give your minions +1/+3.
So this is really kind of targeted at token Druid, where you're trying to make those tokens have some sustain and have some build. 4 mana is a lot of mana to spend.
Yeah.
Usually at 4 mana, you're wanting to solidify the board. You're wanting to, do something that makes those a little more stickier than just body. I don't think this makes the cut right now, but we'll have to see.
Yeah. All right. Moving along to Hunter Epics, we have the Warsong Wrangler. So this is a 4 mana, 3/4 minion, battle cry. Discover a beast in your deck. Give all copies of it +2/+1 wherever they are.
Yeah, so we saw this on a live stream. I was kind of mixed on this card because I didn't know how well Beast Hunter would go. But they have I think it's a Razorfen Raptor that has the Frenzy, the shuffle another one in and give it a buff.
Yes.
And then they frenzied it, and then they played Warsong Wrangler, which of course is going to buff the minion that was shuffled and any other copies, and it also buffs the one on the board, which I didn't realize. It will buff the ones on the board, in hand, or in the deck. So I really like this card. I think if you're gonna play Beast Hunter, which I think is going to be a mid-range style of hunter, and we haven't seen a successful mid-range hunter in a long time. And Highlander hunters kind of dominated the meta over the last 2 years. So I think without the ability to play Highlander hunter, Beast Hunter as a mid-range strategy is going to be a go-to, and I think this card goes in there.
Okay. Next up, we have Hunter Rare Minion, Prospector's Caravan. 2 mana, 1/3. At the start of your turn, give all minions in your hand +1/+1.
So I'm going to start out with this. Caravans are bad. Every caravan does the same thing. I think they're all 2 mana 1/3s, if I'm not mistaken, and they all do an at the start of your turn effect. Now, there is some merit that this is. I think Wicked Good kind of mentioned that these caravans are like heal for 3 because they're going to
draw removal.
They're going to want to remove it. But is that really what you want to do on turn 2 in a tempo mid-range style strategy? So in Hunter, I think it's bad. It does give all minions in your hand +1/+1, but the style I'm seeing has a lot of spells focused in it too, so I don't know how many minions you are going to buff. Uh, and also, there is some new card draw being put into Hunter, but I don't think there's enough to keep your hand size large. You're going to want at least 6, 7 cards in your hand for this card, and I just don't think it's there. If it's there, it's only useful on turn 2 where they can't kill it easily,
Okay.
and I think it's bad.
Okay. Then we've got Hunter common cards. First up, we have a Beast minion, the Pack Kodo, 3 mana, 3/3, Battle Cry, discover a beast, a secret, or a weapon.
Yeah, so this is I like the 3 mana 3/3 stat line they're kind of going with here. I think it's a good body minion on turn 3, and it's card generation.
Yeah.
And card generation and card draw are two things that Hunter doesn't always have a lot of abundance of, and they're making sure to put it in this set. I think it's a good card.
Yeah. Then we have a new Hunter spell. 4 mana, shoot Regis Kilbin. Oh, wait, no, it's called Piercing Shot. Deal 6 damage to a minion. Excess damage hits the enemy hero. So if you guys don't get the joke, he made the comment during the live stream that, oh, it just so happens that the art, they're shooting a red bearded dwarf.
Yeah, this looks like a Regis Kilbin kind of art style. I think somebody's poking a little fun. We do know over at Team 5 they love Regis Kilbin. They personally love to use him for live streams. And he's even come out and said, they've asked me, hey, do you want to do the next one? He's like, hey, you can give other people options. And they usually do. But they always seem to go back to calling him for a lot of these set reveals. And I like that. He's a humble dude. This card I don't think it's very good. I think the effect is good. But if it was at 3 mana, it probably would kind of hit that kill command mark for me.
For 4 mana, if you're targeting a 1 health minion, that's 5 damage to the enemy's face.
Yeah, but at 4 mana, are you wanting to just get rid of a 1 health minion?
At 4 mana, I'm wanting to do as much damage to the enemy's face as I can.
See, at 4 mana, you're probably dealing with a 3/4 or maybe even a 3/5 at that point. So this isn't doing that much. It's just a single target removal for 4 mana. And I would like to see that at 3 mana. Obviously, if you're killing something that only has 1 health, I think you're winning that game anyways.
Maybe.
So from ahead, this is a good card. But from behind, I don't think this makes up enough.
Maybe they're playing a bunch of small 1 mana minions so that they can hit it with some sort of a +1/+1 or +2/+2 and make big tokens.
Maybe I don't. At 3 mana, I think this card would be great. I think it would be good.
Okay.
At 4 mana, I think it interacts with the board 1 turn too late.
Okay. Next up, we have another Hunter spell, Wound Prey. It's 1 mana, deal 1 damage, summon a 1/1 hyena with Rush.
It's important to note this can go face, and it can go to friendly minions, and
Yes.
Frenzy is a thing.
Yes.
So you can play your Razor Friend Raptor, then wound prey on it to shuffle in another Raptor, and then have a 1/1 to rush into something.
Yeah, that's very true.
It's a good card. It's very good. It's very versatile.
Yeah. Next up, we have Mage Epic cards. And one of our favorite cards from this set is the Epic Fire spell, Wildfire. 2 mana, increase the damage of your hero power by 1.
Yeah, note that this doesn't say set your hero power to 2.
Correct.
A lot of people compare this to the shadow form.
Yeah.
And 1 cost less shadow form. No, it's not, because you can put 2 of these into your deck and you can go from 2 damage to 3 damage.
Yes.
And then you can discover them with minions that discover spells
and take it up to 4 or 5 or however many you can discover.
Yeah, exactly. you can really ramp this up, and it activates Morgresh,
Yes.
uh, which we talked about last week. And Morgresh is going to be the win condition, I believe, in this deck.
Yep.
And you get there by Wildfire.
That's right. Next up, we have a epic elemental minion, the Arcane Luminary. 3 mana, 4/3. Cards that didn't start in your deck cost 2 less, but not less than 1.
So I've heard somebody refer to this as Sorcerer Apprentice, because it's like a slow version of Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Okay.
Because it does more, but it really does less because you can't go below 1.
Below 1, yeah.
This is they probably could have saved this card by just adding the but not less than 1 to Sorcerer's Apprentice and leaving it in the core set. To be honest,
Yeah.
If elemental tags are important in this set, and I don't think they're going to be, I don't see this card being that useful.
Okay. Moving on, we have Mage Rare Frost spell called Flurry. 0 mana, freeze a random enemy minion. Upgrades when you have mana, so that's the rank 1. Rank 2 is freeze 2 random enemy minions. Rank 3 is freeze 3 random enemy minions.
Yeah,
I think this is good. Yeah.
Yeah, this is very good, because often you might want to hold this until turn 10 because you might be playing a slow strategy where you're just stalling out the board so you can play your Morgresh.
Yeah.
And playing this followed by a Varden, then they will do 4 damage to all those minions that got frozen by Flurry. So basically you play this for 0, you play Varden on turn 10, or at 10 mana, and they'll do 4 damage, and then what doesn't get killed, because they weren't frozen, will get frozen. So, yes, this is going to be good. And as you see, Varden, they're in this card art, which is really cool. All of the mercenaries are in the rank 1 spells.
Yeah. So, all right. Moving on, we have another Mage Rare minion, Rhyme Tongue. It's a 3 mana, 3/4. After you cast a frost spell, summon a 1/1 elemental that freezes.
So, I don't think it's going to be that impactful. I don't think Frost Mage is a thing yet. I don't think they have enough.
I think
tools.
Yet is the key word. Yeah.
This might be a card because it has great stats. 3 mana, 3/4 is just good. And the fact that it produces these 1/1s that will freeze. So against a weapon strategy, they really have to make some choices on the removal, because they don't want these minions sticking on the board, hitting face, and negating their weapon swings. But I don't think there's enough frost spells to support this yet. Mini set coming up, and the set 4-set metas are really weird. You see a lot of cards that are like, it's good, but just doesn't have enough. And then when we get to the second or possibly the 3rd set in the year, all of a sudden that card's broken and everybody's saying nerf it, nerf it, nerf it.
Yeah.
So this Rhyme Tongue might be in that list of things where people might, I don't know if it would ever be nerf worthy, but it definitely is one that could cause problems later down the line. A Freeze Mage is not really in the meta anymore, and kind of by design, but it could return.
That's true. Very true. All right, then we got a couple Mage common cards. First up is a Frost spell, Oasis Ally. 3 mana, secret. When a friendly minion is attacked, summon a 3/6 water elemental.
So this is amazing, because this does very well against the weapon strategies. If you play a minion, they say, hey, I got to get that off the board, and they swing their weapon into it. Then a 3/6 water elemental comes out, and they go, oh no, I can't clear that minion too. Now that water elemental can continue to hit face. And if their primary strategy for dealing with minions is weapon swings, you negate that completely with this minion. A lot of mages, when weapon strategies were popular, were teching in uh, just 4 mana water elementals just so they can try to get them to stick to the board, so that they can freeze the face. And this does it in a secret that also is triggered in a way that mage secrets normally aren't triggered. And I love it when they do that, because they make your opponent think, well, what do I need to do, in what order? I have a spell to do with this, but it could be counter spell, but I could swing my weapon into it, but it could be Oasis Ally. So I don't know if pure Secret Mage has enough tools to be good with the core set the way it is. I haven't really looked at it, but if it does, this definitely goes in it. And I think it goes into any kind of long-term mage deck that wants to go late game.
Yeah. Then we have what may be one of the best common cards in the entire set.
Big claim.
It is. And this is Refreshing Spring Water. So this is a 4-mana common spell. Draw 2 cards. Refresh 2 mana crystals for each spell drawn. So basically, if you're going to draw 2 cards, if both cards are spells, you're getting all 4 mana back. So this was a free 2-card draw. That's huge.
Yeah, and if you only draw 1 spell, it's still 2 mana for draw 2, which is better than Arcane Intellect. So I like this. I don't know if I'd claim it as the best, because I don't know if pure spell mage can be a thing with Reno, the hero card, rotating out.
Okay.
That kind of enabled that.
I still think this card is really, really strong.
I think it's really good. I don't know if I call it the best. I do think you put it in most mage decks, because most mage decks make up at least a third, if not half of their deck is at least spells.
Yep.
So I do think that in any mage deck that runs spells, which is pretty much all of them, it goes in here. It goes in Secret Mage because there's lots of spells in it. It goes in that Hero Power Mage, most likely. I think it would go in any kind of control style mage, because there's usually a lot of spells and removal on it. So yeah, very good card.
Yeah. All right, moving along. We are Paladin Rares. So first up, we have a new Paladin weapon, Sword of the Fallen. It's a 2-mana 1/3. After your hero attacks, cast a secret from your deck.
Yeah, so basically for 2 mana, you get a 1/3 weapon, which isn't great stats, but you get to play 3 secrets out of your deck. I don't know if a purely secret Paladin deck will exist, because I'm not sure if it has enough tools.
Oh, it will in Wild. I'm already thinking about playing this with Challenger in Wild.
Well, the problem is this kind of has anti-synergy with Challenger, because it's bringing out the secrets you're going to pull out with Challenger. Maybe you play this instead of Challenger. I don't know. But the important thing to note is Holy Paladin is going to run some secrets. And if I say if Holy Paladin runs more than 6 total copies of secrets, that's 3 different secrets, 2 copies of each, then I think this goes in there. Will it? I don't know yet. So I'm kind of on the fence with it. If Secret Paladin is an archetype in Standard, this is probably one of the best cards to put in there at the start of your deck.
Let's talk Secret Synergy, because our next card also has it. We have a rare minion, Northwatch Commander. It's a 3-mana 3/4 battle cry. If you control a secret, draw a minion.
Yeah, and they're doing really good. I've noticed this whole set of curving out. So at 2 mana, you play Sword of the Fallen. You swing at face, or you clear one of their minions, or whatever you want to do. You get a secret. On turn 3, if they've had to pop that secret, you can swing again, get another secret. That's 2 cards out of your deck. Then you play Northwatch Commander on 3, and it draws a minion. So there's lots of draw and deck thinning
Uh-huh.
that I think is really, really nice that Paladin's going to need. I mean, when they got rid of Divine Favor, Paladin fell flat on card draw.
Yeah.
And this really is going to help. I think this goes into the deck even if you're only running, if not just a secret Paladin, like in the Holy Paladin where you're running some secrets because they have the Holy tag. I think you still play North Watch Commander.
Okay. Then we have
3 mana 3/4 is just great stats.
Oh yeah,
anyways.
yeah. Then we have Soldier's Caravan. It's 2 mana 1/3. At the start of your turn, summon 2 1/1 Silverhand recruits.
Again, caravans are bad.
Yep.
But this one they have to deal with, or they're dealing with 2
Well,
1/1s.
I mean, they
every turn.
have to deal with the other one too. It's like you said, they have to deal with the caravans, or they're going to do something they don't want them to do.
Yeah.
Like Wicked Good alluded to, maybe this is 3 life. Because they're
That's
going
true.
to have to deal with it. All the
I just-
caravans so far have had an ability they have to deal with.
There is some Silverhand recruit synergy, but there's not enough that I think a dedicated Silverhand recruit deck can be viable. And does this go in a deck that's not Silverhand recruit
Yeah.
focused? I don't think it does.
Right, right.
I think there's going to be better archetypes with even Pure Secret or Holy, or I mean, obviously we're going to want to fit Librams in there too, which is probably the Holy variant. I just don't think there's room unless we have more tools for just buffing up your Silverhand recruits. And we have some, we just don't have a lot.
Okay. Moving on, we have Paladin common cards. First up, we have Knight of Anointment. It's a 1 mana 1/1 battle cry. Draw a holy spell. I like
Yes,
this.
please. It's just good.
Yeah.
I mean, this is your 1-drop. It's great.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing else to say. It's just really good.
Next up, we have a new Paladin secret, Galloping Savior. 1 mana secret. After your opponent plays 3 cards in a turn, summon a 3/4 steed with taunt.
So this is like Rat Trap from Hunter,
Which
is a secret, a 2 mana secret
is not a great secret because everybody runs deck tracker, so they know what secrets are available. Yeah. So they just stop playing cards after 2.
The thing is, the reason this is good is the reason Rat Trap was good. Because there are times when to deal with your flooded board of minions, you need to play more than 2. And then they have to think, well, if I'm going to play more than 2 cards, can I then deal with the 3/4 taunt? So it makes your opponent, it throws them off their game. Do I think this is a great secret? No. But I think it is a good secret. And if you run a pure secret synergy deck where you're putting a lot of your money in the secrets, this needs to go in it just because it's disruption and you need secrets.
That's right. Okay. Now we're at Priest, and we have a new Priest legendary to look at, Serena Bloodfeather. So it's a 2 mana 1/1 battle cry. Choose an enemy minion, steal attack and health from it until Serena has more.
This hurts my brain.
So basically, if you have a 4/4 on the board and you play Serena, she's going to take 1/1 to become a 2/2, making the 4/4 3/3. Then she's going to take another 1/1, becoming a 3/3, making the minion a 2/2, and that's where it'll stop.
So this isn't removal.
It's just
that
stealing.
Arrangement.
Yeah.
And now I did have, this was confirmed by Celestalon in the Angry Chicken chat, that it does health and attack separate.
Okay.
So it will make sure it steals enough attack so it has more, and then health. So if you have like a very stat heavy minion, it's not going to stop once it has more attack, and then but not more health. It has to have more. It will stop doing the attack, but it will continue to do the health till it has more. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
Again, this makes my brain hurt. We have to have a dissertation to describe this card. I
Okay.
don't think that is going to matter since Shadow Madness is no longer in the set, right?
I believe that's correct.
I don't believe Shadow Madness is in the core set anymore. And this, to me, that would be the card that this steals and then takes the minion, and you can trade with it. So I don't think there's anything that will abuse this card yet. And so I don't think it's that great.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't counter out for a possible future.
Okay.
Because there may be cards that maybe give a certain type of armor based on its attack or health, or that do things based on its attack and health. I know we had reoccurring villain, which is not going to be a standard anymore. That if it had 4 attack, the death rattle would resummon it, and then this could work against that. Nobody ever found a way to abuse that card, so I don't think this is a counter to anything like that because none of that really exists right now.
Right. All right. So moving on, we have 2 priest rares to look at. First up, we have Void Flare. It's a 4 mana 3/4 battle cry. For each spell in your hand, deal 1 damage to a random enemy minion.
Yeah, spell heavy priest I think is going to be a thing with a lot of the tools that they've gotten, and this is removal for that. It's not targeted removal, so I wonder. It is only minions though, which actually makes this better. So I wonder how well it'll be. But 4 mana 3/4 body is not terrible with some form of removal on it. So I'm sure it gets played, but we'll just have to see how refined the decks get, how long it stays in the deck.
Okay. Then we have Soothsayer's Caravan. 2 mana 1/3. At the start of your turn, copy a spell from your opponent's deck to your hand.
Yeah, so I was watching the live off curve review with Wicked Good and Mad at Arms, and Wicked Good made a really good point on this card. Is there's nothing players hate more than having their cards used against them.
Mm-hmm.
So this on the board, your opponent will put any amount of resources needed to remove it because they do not want you using the cards they put in their deck, which they know are good, to beat you.
Right.
And Wicked Good is the priest kind of savant, so I trust him when he says that. So I think I don't like the caravans, but I could see a reason to put them in your deck. And this one is definitely not an exception. It's your opponents are not. Now it takes only spells,
right?
So it depends. I mean, I might be playing a deck that's minion heavy, and the spells my priest opponent can't really utilize. So like, oh sure, have my spells. I don't care. I'm not going to deal with a 1/3. But in most cases, most decks are going to run some kind of spells, and you don't want your opponent to use your cards against you. So yeah.
Okay. Next up, we have Priest Common cards. First up, we have Power Word Fortitude. This is an 8 mana holy spell. Give a minion +3/+5. Costs 1 less for each spell in your hand.
So you really have to have a lot of spells in your hand to even get this remotely. So it's 8 total stats, which is Kings, Blessing of Kings level for Paladin. That's 4/4, 3/5, 8 total stats, and that's 4 mana. So make this even Kings worthy. You have to have 4 other spells in your hand, because once this is cast, it doesn't count itself. So no, it costs 1 less for each spell, so it does count itself. Okay.
Yeah.
So it would count because that's before. So you need 3 other spells to even make it worth the mana, in my opinion. Is there a priest deck that's going to be doing that? I don't know. That if you're loading up so many spells, which in priest is usually removal, it's not board development. What are you putting on the board to win the game? Maybe you win by Yogg. Maybe you win by Cthulhu. But other than those 2 scenarios, I don't see them having enough win conditions for that deck to be viable. And in that case, I don't think this is a good card. Now, if Cthulhu Priest becomes a thing where you just fill your deck with spells and play the removal game and then win by a 30 damage Cthulhu without your opponent healing above 30, so, not good against druids or warriors, then this card is probably good. But then what are you buffing if you don't have any minions developed? So I don't know. I'm not convinced this is a good card, but I'm sure somebody like Wicked Good will figure out a way to break this card if it's good.
Yeah. Then we have a new shadow spell, Devouring Plague, 3 mana, lifesteal, deal 4 damage, randomly split among all enemy minions. So it's 3 mana, deal 4 damage, gain 4 health, split among all enemy minions.
Yes, and I want this to be good, and I think it is good against certain strategies like token. The problem is on 3 when you're doing this damage, if it deals with the board, are you even healing with it? And then later game, if you're healing with it, are you dealing with the board?
Right.
And I don't think I think the answer is no to both of those. Now, this might be useful just for the deal 4 damage and life still doesn't matter on 3 mana because you're dealing with tokens.
Right.
And if that's the case, then maybe this is a tech card put in to counteract, those early aggressive decks. But I don't think this is any good after turn 3. It doesn't heal enough. I just don't. I don't see that it's going to be reliable enough. And there's not a lot. There's some shadow synergy, but not a lot for it to be a big deal.
Okay. Rogue. We have a new rogue legendary to talk about. Apothecary Hellbrim. 4 mana, 3/3, Battle Cry, and Death Rattle. Add a random poison to your hand.
Yeah, so we saw this type of thing with Zeril. Zeril, I think, was a 4 mana 3/2, Battle Cry and Death Rattle. It added a toxin to your hand, and that was from a special pool of toxins.
Yes.
So this is a random poison. And in standard right now, we have we have deadly poison. We have the new paralytic poison. We have nitro boost poison. I think there's another poison that was released that we'll be talking about. Silverleaf poison. So there's not a lot of poisons, but that's actually good for this card because you're likely to get something you really like. Now it's at a random poison, so it's not like a discover pool where you can cherry pick. So you might get the poison that you don't need at that moment. That being said, I still think this
it was
good.
The same way with Zeril, like you said, and we still used Zeril.
Yeah. The thing was all of the toxins had some form of use.
But maybe not the one you need right then.
That's true. And the fact that it's Battle Cry and Death Rattle, meaning it can happen twice.
Yeah.
Twice, is also very good. I do like this card, and I think that deck is going to be very dominant. Get your weapon tech sheathed up now because people are going to be using weapons, and you're going to hate it.
All right, next up we have a rogue rare minion, Field Contact. It's a 3 mana 3/2. After you play a Battle Cry or combo card, draw a card.
So this is card draw for Rogue. It's good. People have kind of compared this to World Kick Rogue, and I don't think that's a fair comparison. I don't think it's as good as World Kick Rogue because World Kick Rogue gave you specifically combo cards, and they gave you extra tools on top of what's in your deck. Now, obviously, you're building your deck with cards that you really want, so maybe card draw is better. I like this as Battlecry or combo.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times things that benefit off Battlecry, then your combo cards felt like you weren't getting any use out of them, and vice versa. So I do think it's strong in that aspect. But Rogue has so much card draw that I don't think it needs field contact in the deck.
Okay. Next, we have a new Rogue common spell. It's a ranked spell, Wicked Stab. 2 mana, deal 2 damage at rank 1, deal 4 damage at rank 2, deal 6 damage at rank 3. And now this damage can go anywhere.
Yeah, Malagos, Rogue, and Wild. I'll just leave that there for you. You get some Thorson ticks, and we're not a Wild podcast, so we're not going to get too crazy into that. Now, in Standard, this is just good. It's a better eviscerate late game, and a lot of times, the Rogue sometimes has to go late game to win. Now, if you do this after turn 5, it's basically an eviscerate. 2 mana, 4 damage.
Yep.
And
you don't have to combo. You can actually use this to proc eviscerate.
Well, eviscerate's no longer in Standard.
Oh, well, that's true, yeah.
So that won't be a concern. Oh, goodness. But a lot of times the way you beat Rogue is you played Warrior and you out-armored their damage. I mean, you didn't have to do as much armor as their damage. You basically offset 1 to 2, and you probably exhausted all the damage in their deck. Well, now if you get them to turn 10 and they got 2 of these in your hand, that's 12 damage for 4 mana, and they still have 6 mana to work with.
Yep.
You know, so, and that could be weapon swings, that could be poisons on their weapon swings. There could be lots of things going here. So the burst potential for Rogue late game is. I mean, now you can't just outlast your Rogue, and basically at that point it's like, okay, they don't have enough damage to reach me. Now they're going to have enough damage.
Yeah.
So that's going to be exciting, depending what side you're on.
Mark. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know the side I'm on. It's not going to be exciting.
Yeah. All right. Next, we have a couple of Rogue common cards, including the new nature spell Silverleaf Poison. So this was one we talked about. 2 mana. Give your weapon, after your hero attacks, draw a card.
Yeah, so this, aside from opposite of field contact, this is a good value draw card engine because it's 2 mana, and you will usually, in most cases, draw 2 cards. Mm-hmm. And 2 mana for draw 2 cards, I mean, Arcane Intellect is 3 mana for drawing 2 cards. So it's better than the curve. Now, that's only putting it on your hero power, which is a 1/2 weapon. If you put it on a weapon that has more durability or gains durability for poisons coming out, we talked about, I think, last week, their weapon, then you could get a lot of card draw out of this. And, oh my goodness. Kingsbane, Rogue, and Wild. I know we keep bringing up Wild, but man, these cards are impacting Wild in such a big way.
Yeah.
It's going to be exciting. And Wild's kind of been turned on its head because of the way cards have changed recently. So Wild, if you haven't been playing Wild, which I haven't in a few months, I might want to sleeve up another Wild deck. And I did really well with Kingsbane Rogue, so that's probably going to be good.
Yeah. All right, next up we have a new common minion. It's a mech, the Efficient Octobot. 2 mana, 1/4, Frenzy. Reduce the cost of cards in your hand by 1.
Emperor Thorson was a good card. This is a good card.
That's an interesting thought comparison.
I mean, if there's any combo, combos that can be done in Rogue, this is going to be a key to it. So you can reduce the cards, the mana total down to as low as possible to fit as many cards or many effects into your mana availability as possible. Because there's a reduced cost of all cards in your hand by one. Not just spells, not just minions, not just one card, all
One
cards.
time.
Now
Yeah.
it's one time because it's a frenzy. You put 2 of these in your deck. I am so glad Malagos is no longer a standard.
Yeah. All right. Moving along, we have a Shaman Epic Lily Pad Lurker. It's elemental, 5 mana, 4/5, battle cry. If you played an elemental last turn, transform an enemy minion into a 0/1 frog with taunt.
Frog on a stick. So the best thing about this card is the cute little frog that's just sitting inside this elemental's whirling vortex, just waiting.
Yep.
It's like what's going on?
Hex on a stick. Yep.
This is hex on a stick, and so you're hexing a minion. You're dealing with a minion, and if it has death rattle or any kind of effect on the board, you're negating it completely. So it's in a sense of silence.
Yeah.
And you're developing a 4/5 body on top of that.
Yep. Yep.
And any elemental synergies, which we know there are some in this set, this activates it for next turn. So yeah, yes, please. This is good. I mean, mind you, it's 5 mana.
Yeah.
So it's a little late, but I mean, at 5 mana, those are the type of minions you want to hex.
Yep. So, all right. Moving on to Shaman Rare cards, we have a new elemental minion, Earth Revenant. 4 mana, 2/6, taunt, battle cry, deal 1 damage to all enemy minions. So again, here we have curve. Turn 4, you play a taunt Earth Revenant. Turn 5, you play Lily Pad Lurker and hex something.
If token strategies are popular in the meta, this is a great card because even if you don't kill the minions, you're getting them low enough that they have to deal with a 2/6 taunt. They're probably going to die on them. However, if Frenzy is very popular in the meta, this has anti-synergy and could be a problem.
Yeah.
If Frenzy Warrior becomes a thing, and I think it will, you won't want to play Earth Revenant. Because, I mean, you're going to activate all their frenzies, but at the same time, you're activating them on your turn, so your opponent's not doing them. So I don't know. That's kind of a weird line. Do you want to activate your opponent's frenzies? I guess it depends what frenzies they are.
Right.
We'll just have to see.
Yeah. Then we have Tiny Finn's Caravan, which is the cutest of all the caravans. 2
Oh my
mana.
gosh.
2 mana, 1/3. At the start of your turn, draw a Murloc.
So everybody's been talking about the art on here. There's Finges hiding in there, I believe. But this crab that's pulling this caravan, to me, is the star of the party here. Again, I'm going to say it. Caravans are bad. But again, they're going to have to deal with this or you're drawing a Murloc. Historically, card draw has been Murloc Shaman's kind of Achilles heel. They would dump out their hands, and if you dealt with it, they didn't have any refill mechanic. This is refill mechanic, but again, your opponent can deal with it before you even get any benefit from it. So we'll see. I don't think it's going to be that useful. It doesn't have it's not a Murloc tribe itself, so it doesn't have that synergy going for it. Yeah, we'll have to see. I don't think it's good, but I do think Murloc Shaman is going to be good.
Yeah. All right. Then we have... Why do we have the one on here twice?
I don't know. Probably a mistake on my end.
Okay. So, Shaman Rare Minions. We have a new elemental, Arid Stormer.
And these are also commons.
Yeah, these are commons.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
sorry,
not rares,
sorry
commons.
about that.
Yeah. So, Arid Stormer, it's a 2/5 elemental. Battle Cry, if you played an elemental last turn, gain Rush and Wind Fury. So again, playing into that elemental shaman on curve, now we've seen a 3 mana elemental, a 4 mana elemental, and a 5 mana elemental.
Yeah, we saw Regis Kilbin on the reveal stream he played a Shaman Murloc deck. It was like some Shamans, some Murlocs.
Yeah.
And it was good. It wasn't great. And I kept saying to myself, what if this deck was just Elementals or just Murlocs?
Right.
And I think if you make just an Elemental or just a Murloc deck, and I don't know if there's enough tools to sustain that yet. I haven't looked at the full rotation set lists after core comes in. If you can do that, either one or maybe even both of those decks are going to be great.
Okay. And then we have Spawn Pool Forager. This is a 1-mana 1/2 Murloc, Death Rattle, summon a 1/1 Tiny Fin.
Yeah, I mean it's a 1/1 Tiny Fin. It's a minion on the board. New art. It's really cute. It's not the same art as the Tiny Fin that's going to be in core set. So I do like that they didn't just reuse the art. This is a great turn 1 play.
Okay. Moving on to Warlock, and we have a new Warlock legendary, Niru Fireblade. So he's a 5-mana 5/5 battle cry. If your deck is empty, open a portal that fills your board with 3/2 imps each turn.
This is deceptively good. It is kind of like Chef Nomi.
Yeah.
Where if your deck's empty, you get a bunch of 5/5s, but you get a portal that is going to constantly summon these 3/2s. And they happen at the end of your turn. So it says each turn, so it's not yours and your opponent's turn. So that a lot of people thought that when they first saw it, but that's not the case. But Regis Kilbin and the Theory Crafting streams made a deck using this that relied on shuffling lots of soul fragments and burning his deck, and he was hoping he could burn the soul fragments and keep more quality cards in there to use. And then late game, when he played Niru, he could also shuffle more soul fragments. And even though, I mean, he'll obviously be taking fatigue, but he's also healing because he's hitting soul fragments. So it's kind of sustaining him to deal with the fatigue. And every turn they have to deal with a board full of 3/2s.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right, I kind of like it. We'll have to see how it performs. Then we have Warlock Epic Barrens Scavenger. So this is a 6-mana 6/6 taunt. Costs 1 while your deck has 10 or fewer cards in it. So again, playing to that late game strategy, if you have less than 10 cards in your deck, this is a 1-mana 6/6.
Wait, what? What do you mean?
Huh?
Late game strategy. I don't understand late game strategy. Because I saw Regis able to activate this card like on turns 4 or 5.
Wow.
Because he's burned his deck that much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the cards that benefit from having less in your deck get that much better and have that much more effect once you have your deck down. So you're just doing anything you can to burn early, including the next card we're going to talk about.
That's right. New epic fire spell for Warlocks called Altar of Fire. 1 mana, destroy the top 3 cards of each deck.
So this is working you towards your activators. And then on top of that, you're also taking stuff out of your opponent's deck that, you know, maybe it's a Cthulhu piece. Maybe if they're playing a combo style deck, you're really going to cripple them. If they're playing an aggro style deck, then that's more tools that they use to beat you that you don't have to use removal on.
Right. So, all right. Moving on, we have a Warlock rare, the Apothecary's Caravan. 2 mana 1/3. At the start of your turn, summon a 1-cost minion from your deck. So, hey, this may be the worst of the caravans.
I don't think it's the worst because it does go into a zoo archetype. And do you want to fill your zoo deck with lots of 1-drops and get benefits that when they're summoned they can't attack because they don't have rush, or maybe they do have rush, but most of them don't. I don't think there's enough 1-drops with like death rattle value or any kind of non-battle cry value you'd want to summon out of your deck.
Mm-hmm.
I do think it's bad. I don't think it's the worst caravan, but it's a caravan. It's bad. I think there's better things to put in zoo, and this only goes in zoo.
Yeah. All right, then we have Warlock Common, the Cabal Outfitter. 3 mana, 3/3, Battle Cry and Death Rattle. Give another random friendly minion +1/+1.
So if this was just Death Rattle, I'd say it's probably not strong enough to go in a zoo type deck. But the fact that it's Battle Cry and Death Rattle is I really do think that this goes in a good zoo deck. A 3 mana 3/3 is, I mean, that's kind of base for zoo anyways. So in a zoo deck that's probably capping out at 3 mana, this goes in there and is good.
Yeah. All right. Warrior. So we're starting with a Warrior Epic. Rancor. 4 mana. Deal 2 damage to all minions. Gain 2 armor for each destroyed.
Yeah, so Lord Barov in this, and you now have a quality pyro.
For 7 mana. Yeah.
And you get a ton of armor.
Yep. So, all right.
Is it 7 mana? Oh, yeah, because Baron.
Lord Barov is 3
is
mana.
3, isn't he? Okay.
Yeah. All right. Then you have a Warrior Rare ranked spell called Conditioning. 2 mana. Give minions in your hand +1/+1. Rank 2. Give minions in your hand +2/+2. Rank 3. Give minions in your hand +3/+3. Now, I just want to point out this is some of my favorite art from any of the ranked spells. Because it starts out with an orc doing push-ups. Then at rank 2, they're doing a push-up with 1 finger. And then with rank 3, they're doing a push-up one-handed with the trainer riding on their back.
So they're and the third one, they're doing a one-handed knuckle push-up with the trainer on their back. Now, those aficionados of push-ups, and I tended to be one when I was in the military, and I had to do a lot of push-ups all the time. Knuckle push-ups are by far one of the toughest. There are fingertip push-ups, but to me they weren't as hard as knuckle push-ups, because your knuckles like to roll when they're on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So unless you're on a soft surface, if you're on a hard surface, that's hard to do knuckle push-ups. So the fact they're doing one-handed knuckle push-ups with a troll on their back, yeah, that's impressive. And I love the art on this, because she's a nice vibrant green being an orc. He's a blue being a troll. He's got a nice orange and blue palette, and in the background you see purple and blues. The color is just great in this.
Yeah.
But ultimately, the hand buff's not great, and I don't think it's a good card.
Okay. Moving on to Warrior Commons. First up, we have a minion, Whirling Combatant. It's a 4 mana 2/6, Battle Cry and Frenzy.
Yeah.
Do 1 damage to all other minions.
Yeah, so we tend to say Battlecry minions are minions you don't really want to ever summon or just get on the board without playing them. And they've done a really good job of taking some of those minions that you might summon, and you might in this deck, because we saw Sourfang where he summons Frenzy minions that died, still have value. And this is good. I mean, obviously Frenzy Warrior is probably going to be the way to play Warrior, and this goes in it.
Yeah. Then we have a new common pirate minion, the Stone Maul Anchorman. He's 5 mana 4/5 with Rush, Frenzy, draw a card.
Yeah, this is just good. I mean, it's card draw, and card draw is great in Warrior.
Yeah,
because you're getting those tools faster. Because a lot of times you might need to use 2 tools to remove
That's true.
one big threat.
That's true. All right, then we have a common warrior spell, Bulk Up. 2 mana, give a random taunt minion in your hand, +1/+1, and copy it.
And it's good to note that you get the copy after it gets the +1/+1.
Yeah.
Are there enough death rattle taunt minions to kind of take advantages? I don't think there are. I don't think this is a great card.
Why do you
right
mention
now,
Death Rattle taunt minion as opposed to just a taunt minion?
because death rattle taunt minions are best when copied, because you're getting that extra death rattle synergies or extra death rattle effect. The ones that give you death rattle gain armor equal to this minion's attack, or abomination death rattle do 2 damage to all minions. Those are the type of minions you want to copy. Just copying a plain simple taunt minion isn't really.
I mean, there have been some really good taunt minions in standard recently. I'm thinking back to the taunt warrior deck that you built not too long ago that we played on the show. There's some really good targets for this.
And the best targets in that deck had death rattles.
Okay.
In my opinion. Now, if you put this in a taunt deck, sure, you're going to get a copy of a taunt, but you can't target this because it's a random taunt. And if your deck has a lot of taunts in it, you kind of want to play this when you can hit a specific taunt. So it kind of has anti-synergy with a taunt warrior. If there is a deck that has a specific taunt minion you want more copies of, like a combo style deck, maybe that's where it shines. I don't see it good enough in taunt warrior, and I don't think the deck that it would be good in exists yet.
Okay. All right, we are into the neutrals. We are in the home stretch for our Forged in the Barrens review. All right, so first up, we have a epic neutral pirate minion, South Sea Scoundrel. 4 mana, 5/5, battle cry, discover a card in your opponent's deck. They draw theirs as well. So you can force a card out of their deck into their hand with this card.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I mean, yeah, I can't imagine this is going to be good. If there was a deck that fatigued or filled your opponent's hand and got them to burn cards, this could specifically target a card to burn. So maybe there's in like a Mill Rogue and Wild, but in Standard, I don't see any application that you'd want to give your opponent a tool they might want. Plus, they build their deck a certain way. You might not get any good use out of it. So I know it's a Discover, but still, I don't think it's good.
Okay. Moving on to neutral rare cards. First up, we have the Taraho Brave. It's a 6 mana 4/8 Frenzy. Destroy a random enemy minion.
So this is like a deadly shot on a minion. Now, it doesn't have rush or any easy way to activate the Frenzy. Of course, in the right deck, you can activate it like Frenzy Warrior or with Penflinger. Like I said, all Frenzy cards might as well have Hey Loser at the end of their effect. Destroying a random enemy minion is good.
Yeah.
I don't know if at the mana cost and the stats and the fact that it doesn't have taunt, if it is good enough to warrant putting in a deck.
Okay. Then we have the Burning Blade Acolyte. So this is a 5 mana 1/1 Death Rattle. Summon a 5/8 Demon Spawn with taunt.
Everyone's going to hate this card when they see it on their opponent's Jandis Barov.
Oh, yeah.
Because you just say, okay, I want this 1/1 to die. And then when it dies, it summons a 5/8 that isn't going to die easily. So, I mean, if you see this option on your Jandis, you pick this as the minion to die every time. And then that
Exactly.
means the other minion has more value because it's not going to die. Uh, so yes, it's a good card. I don't know if it goes in decks, but it's a good card.
Yeah. Then we have the Hecklefang Hyena. This is a neutral beast. 2 mana, 2/4, battle cry, deal 3 damage to your hero.
I know it's a class card, but Flame Imp was a 1 mana 3/2 that did 3 damage to my opponent. So I'm paying 1 extra mana and I'm getting 1 extra stat because it's 3/2 equals 5 and 2/4 equals 6. This isn't, I know it's neutral, but even like a zoo strategy, if you're putting this is just bad. I don't think for 2 mana, this would need to be like a 3/4
Okay.
minimum to be playable.
Okay. Neutral commons. We have an elemental, kindling elemental. It's a 1 mana 1/2. Battle cry. The next elemental you play costs 1 less.
In
So
Shaman, this activates your elemental synergies
yeah,
and is a good turn 1 play, and it reduces the cost of the next elemental. So yeah,
absolutely.
it's good.
Then you have Lushwater Mercenary. So this is a 2 mana 3/2 Murloc. Battle cry. If you control a Murloc, gain +1/+1.
Murloc Shaman, yeah, it's a very good bodied Murloc for the cost. Yeah,
Yep.
it's good.
Then you have Lushwater Scout. So this is a 2 mana 1/3 Murloc. After you summon a Murloc, give it +1 attack and rush.
Another good one. So these 3 commons are all really good in Shaman.
Yeah.
It's like they didn't have enough room in Shaman to fix Shaman, so they spilled into neutral because I can't see any of these cards being played in other classes, but they'll be really good in Shaman.
Okay. Then we have Toad of the Wilds. So this is a 2 mana 2/2 beast taunt. Battle cry. If you're holding a nature spell, gain +2 health.
Decent. I don't think it's great. A 2 mana 2/4 and what? Only Druid and Shaman most
Have
likely
nature
with taunt.
spells. Yeah.
Uh, I I don't know if Hunter has any nature spells, but to me, I'd want to put this in Hunter. If there's not enough nature spells to support it, then it's just a 2/2
Yeah.
with taunt.
All right. Then we have the Venomous Scorpid. This is a 3 mana 1/3 beast. Poisonous. Battle cry. Discover a spell.
I actually like this card.
Okay.
The fact that it has beast synergy, it would go good in Hunter and get you more card generation, which is what Hunter needs.
Uh-huh.
Also, in any other class, including something like Mage, it's just giving you another chance to discover a spell while putting a minion your opponent can't develop onto. A lot of times, if you play a minion, your opponent just develops a bigger minion, and the trade off is you got to get rid of it or it's going to outpace you. Well, with this, it's poisonous, so they have to deal with the minion before they can develop a big minion. And the fact that it has 3 health gets it past that two damage breakpoint.
Yeah.
That usually somebody on turn 3 or 4 can use to deal with it. And I think it's good in a few different classes and discovers a spell, which is card generation.
Yeah. Then we have Oasis Thrasher. So this is a 2 mana 2/3 beast. Frenzy. Deal 3 damage to the enemy hero.
I mean, 2 mana 2/3 beasts are, that's a base stat line. The fact that it has a decent frenzy that can get hey losered is good.
Yeah. All right, then we have the Ratchet Privateer. This is a 3 mana 4/3 pirate. Battle cry. Give your weapon +1 attack.
I don't think there's enough pirate synergies to make a pirate deck usable. And just giving a +1 attack to a weapon, I don't think is going to be enough in this new meta. So I don't think it gets played now, but it's one of those to look at later.
What about in Wild Rogue with
Oh, and Wild, yeah. I mean, you want to put it in Wild. It'd probably even go in Odd Rogue. I mean,
okay.
I mean, you got a 2/2 base weapon, and then you turn that to a 3/2. Yeah.
Okay.
Or give your weapon +1 attack. That's a battle cry, so it's an enhancement. So that sticks to Kingsbane.
Right. Yeah. So all right, then we have Barrens Trapper, which is a 3-mana 2/4. Your Death Rattle cards cost 1 less. Do you see this going in Demon Hunter Death Rattle?
I see it going in Demon Hunter Death Rattle if Demon Hunter Death Rattle is a thing. The problem is then you're watering down a synergy card that doesn't really have direct synergy unless it's in play. Or allow the other Demon Hunter Death Rattle synergies even have synergies while they're in your hand or deck.
Yeah.
You can't draw with this. It's a dead draw in a lot of cases. If you're needing a Death Rattle and you draw this, it's not going to get you another Death Rattle or anything. So I don't know if it goes. I think if that deck is a deck and it gets refined, one of the cards that gets cut is this card.
What about coining this out on 2 and then playing Darkspear Berserker, which is a 4-mana 5/7 Death Rattle, deal 5 damage to your hero on turn 3?
Well, to me, there are better turn 2 and 3 card plays in the Death Rattle Demon Hunter that is theorized right now.
Mm-hmm.
And dealing 5 damage to your hero, do you really want to do that when your primary source of removal is likely your face?
If I play this on turn 3 and I deal 15 damage to my opponent before they can effectively remove the 7 health, then is 15 to 5 worth a valid trade?
Yes, in a perfect scenario, that's that you play this on 3 or 4. I don't see one of the primary removal sources of Demon Hunter is using your weapon, using your hero power and weapon swings. And if you're constantly doing that, you're lowering your health. Your opponent might go, hey, I can just single target remove a spell that only does damage to a minion, now also does damage to the face because of this. Mm-hmm. And could get them lethal. So I think that 2-card combo is good, but do 2 bad cards make a good deck? I don't think so.
All right, moving on, we have Injured Marauder. So this is a 4-mana 5/10 with Taunt. Battle Cry. Deal 6 damage to this minion.
So it's a 4-mana 5/4 and it's base.
This is just like the other Injured Berserker or whatever it was that we used to have.
Injured Blade Master.
Injured Blade Master, that's it. Yeah.
This has Taunt.
Yes.
So they have to deal with it if they have minions in play. I think this is a good card.
Okay.
Whether it gets buffed more from hand or you summon it somehow, which there isn't really a resurrect mechanic that's going to be reliable in Priest, so that's probably not going to be a case. But I think Injured Marauder I think it's a good card.
Okay. Then we have Gold Road Grunt. So this is a 5-mana 3/7 Taunt. Frenzy, gain armor equal to the damage taken.
So this is one of the few Frenzy cards that don't really synergize with something like Penflinger.
Right.
Because you would only gain 1 armor.
Yeah.
But it's a taunt, and if you're playing this into a board that only has bigger minions that can't do 7 in 1 swing, then this is probably really good. Mm-hmm. Now it has kind of anti-synergy with activators, because I don't think you would put this in Taunt Warrior, because Warrior has ways to build up armor, and a lot of times you're activating your own frenzies. Not Taunt Warrior, but Frenzy Warrior. You're activating your own frenzies with chip damage.
Right.
And so this isn't going to be very good. But in another class that doesn't have a lot of sustain, like hunter or rogue, or don't have a lot of health damage gain, or even in druid, that they can build armor, but not in the increments that warrior can, and they do use their face to trade quite a bit with their hero power. Maybe gaining this extra armor would be good in something like druid, and in that case, I think this is a good card.
Yeah. All right, then we have the Death's Head Cultist. So this is a 3-mana 2/4 taunt. Death Rattle, restore 4 health to your hero.
So we've seen the same mana distribution, stat line, and taunt on I think it was a shaman minion, an elemental, that had a battle cry of heal 4 damage to your hero. Yeah, it's good. I like it.
Okay. Next, we have the Razormane Raider. So this is a 5-mana 5/6 Frenzy, attack a random enemy. So this could go face, loser.
It could go face, loser, or even better, it could take a broom ride to face.
Yeah.
If you play this an animated broom, then you trade into a minion. This can trade into another minion or go face.
Yeah.
So it basically gets 2 attacks off. It's good.
Then we have the Gruntled Patron.
Gruntled.
4 mana.
It's not disgruntled. It's
yeah,
gruntled.
It's a Gruntled Patron. So it's a 4 mana 3/3 Frenzy. Summon another Gruntled Patron.
First off, I didn't know gruntled was really a word.
I didn't either.
Just disgruntled. But this isn't as bad as the Grim Patron, because the Grim Patron, you can just continually create more patrons over and over and over again. This only does it once, but the new patron summoned will also have Frenzy. So that one can summon one, and the next one can summon one. So it is bad in that regard. This goes in a Frenzy Warrior. It just does.
The definition of gruntled is pleased, satisfied, and contented.
Which makes sense, because if you're disgruntled, you're displeased, dissatisfied, or discontented. So, yeah.
All right. Then we have Sunwell Initiate. So this is a 3-mana 3/4 Frenzy. Gain Divine Shield. Loser.
I like this card. I like this card a lot, because they have to trade into it evenly with 4 damage, because if they try to chip it away with 2 minions or multiple swings, it gains Divine Shield, will negate the next attack. So it can't be dealt with a minion running into it and then a weapon swing, or a weapon swing and then something else. So I like it. I like it a lot.
Okay. Next up, we have Hog Rancher. So this is a 3-mana 3/2 Battle Cry. Summon a 2/1 hog with Rush.
I think there used to be a card in the basic set or classic set that was 3-mana 3/2, summon a 1/1. This is clear power creep, a 2/1 with Rush. That deals with a lot of stuff that's played on turn 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I don't know the deck I'd want to fill this in, but it'd probably be a token strategy, maybe token druid, maybe. I don't know how many minions you want to put in that, because it's mainly spell heavy.
I feel like this is a Battlegrounds card that made it into Standard.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's like, one of the big strategies for Battlegrounds is tokens. And
yeah.
I feel like this should be like a tier 2 Battlegrounds card.
Yeah, so. I mean, the rush really doesn't matter in Battlegrounds, but
but
maybe
summoning having a 3/2 minion and Battlecry summoning a 2/1 minion would be amazing in Battlegrounds.
This is good. I don't hate this.
All right, then we have Crossroads Gossiper. So this is a 3-mana 4/3. After a friendly secret is revealed, gain +2/+2.
So the mage secret, find it through here. Oasis, when a friendly minion is attacked, summon a 3/2 water elemental. So
Yeah.
what's going to happen is they're going to attack this minion, and then
Oasis
the
ally is going to
Oasis, because it's
trigger.
not after,
Yeah.
it's whenever.
Right.
So it's good. Then the Oasis will summon a 3/6. Then this turns into a 6/5,
Yep.
which they may or may not end up killing.
Yep. Yep. That's
And
good.
that's just in Mage.
Yeah.
I mean, there's also synergies
Paladin.
in uh with Paladin and in Hunter, if Hunters run mages, because
Yeah.
I think they still have that secret that summons a 3/3 copy of a minion.
Yep. They do.
I think it was Year of the Phoenix, if I'm not mistaken. I could be. So this would get a +2/+2 buff and summon a 3/3 copy of itself, which then could. And this is after a friendly secret is revealed, which means it's not just once.
Right.
It could happen multiple times.
Multiple times. Yeah. All right.
If you're playing secrets, this is an
This
auto
is
include.
yeah,
Right?
probably definitely an auto include. Yeah. So then you have Talented Arcanist. This is a 2-mana 1/3 battle cry. Your next spell this turn has spell damage +2.
I don't think this is good. And the reason I don't think it's good is because you're investing 2 mana and you're only getting the 2 extra damage out of it, where you could invest that 2 mana into a spell that does more than 2 damage.
Yeah.
Now, if this was the spells this turn have spell damage +2, then it could be very, very good. But I just don't think, or your next spell
Has spell damage +2.
Not restricted to this turn.
Right.
So
Right.
you could set it up for next turn. I don't think it's good enough as it is.
Okay. And the last card in this review.
Definitely not the least.
Yeah. So we have the Far Watch Post. 2 mana, 2/4, can't attack, just like all the other watch posts. After your opponent draws a card, it costs 1 more, not more than 10.
This is a card that single-handedly counters the Celestial Alignment. Because if they play Celestial Alignment, then you can follow up with a Far Watch Post or something that summons the Far Watch Post, maybe a rally, to get your watch posts back, and one of them is Far Watch Post. The next card they draw is now 2 mana, and they're restricted to 1 mana.
Yep.
So they can't play it.
That's true.
The one time I saw Celestial Alignment not do well for Dog is when he played Regis Kilbin, and Regis Kilbin was playing a Watch Post Priest, and he still had trouble beating the Druid, beating Dog, but this card was pivotal to winning that game. So I think the only way that Celestial Alignment doesn't become like too oppressive is if Watch Post decks become a thing.
Yeah.
And I do think Watch Post decks will be a thing, because just alone in Priest and Paladin, they have Rally, and Rally summons a 1-cost, 2-cost, and 3-cost minion that died this game.
Mm-hmm.
And you can, and your watch posts are 2, 3, and 4, so you can summon the 2 and 3 cost watch posts off of it.
Okay.
And they're pretty disruptive.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. Well, that does it for our Forged in the Barrens card review.
Just over 2 hours.
Yeah, right at 2 hours. I am going to open a couple of packs now, as I said I would at the beginning. We'll start with this golden classic pack. See what we get.
What we got? Oh, an epic.
Yeah. Golden Shadow Word Ruin. Okay.
Not bad.
Not bad. Now, let's get into the new stuff, because I have not opened.
That's not it. That's not it. Is it not?
That is
that the golden pack?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the golden pack.
I thought it was a warrior pack. Sorry. The coloring.
Yeah.
I thought it was a class pack. Sorry.
All right, so there's a pack
Okay.
Kodo, Razormane Raider, Grimoire of Sacrifice.
That's pretty art.
Huh, there's a Far Watch post.
I think they're going to be pivotal.
And Reckless Apprentice.
Nice.
All right. Pack number 2. We have another Grimoire, a Thick Hide Kodo, Refreshing Spring Water, Thorn Growth
like
Sentries.
You've already said you're going to like the refreshing spring
Yeah,
water.
and Tarajo Brave. All right. Moving on. We have Fury, rank 1. Whirling Combatant. Ratchet Privateer. Wicked Stab. Ooh, I like that.
That's nice and
I
golden.
like that a lot. And Sigil of Silence. All right. Next up, we have Silverleaf Poison.
Ooh.
I like that.
Nice
Another
art.
second Razormane Raider. Knight of Anointment.
That's pretty art and gold.
Yeah. Desperate Prayer. And Razormane Battle Guard.
Ooh, you got an achievement too.
And
last golden pack.
Last golden pack. We have Sunwell Initiate. We have South Coast Chieftain. Ooh. I like that bulk up.
Bulk up. Yeah, that's nice. I like the art. I like how arms are moving.
Yeah. Void Flare. And a golden Barrens Blacksmith.
Oh, not bad.
Yeah. All right.
Not bad.
Well, that's going to do it for us this week. Let's see if you have any questions or you have comments or you have decks that you're interested in seeing us try on the show. Please send all of those via email to heropowerpodcast@gmail.com. Hit that subscribe button below on YouTube if you haven't done so already, and click that little bell icon for notifications when our new episodes go live. If you are interested in checking out our patron-only Discord, where we are talking about all of this and sharing deck lists, head over to patreon.com/heropower. And until next week.
Don't forget to use your hero power. Hey, it might be like 3 or 4 damage.